to another Two Drunk Flings video. So we're doing Blood Bowl teams again, but I'm doing again another look back at an older team. So this older team is the Elfheim Eagles. Now, these are the pro elves. They're the kind of team you get if you want to score touchdowns. Their biggest thing is they've got high agility. Their catches are really great. You get 2 catches in this set, 2 throwers, 2 blitzers, and of course 6 linemen. Of course, you get the 2 reroll counters, which this time is a finger like that with a ball on it, and 2 double-sided elf tokens, as well as 8 balls in this set. This, I've heard, is the most notoriously difficult set to put together, and we'll find out why when we look at the Sprues. But I think I'll tell you a little bit about the elves themselves. So they've got the cheapest AG4, Agility 4 players in the game. So they're really kind of good at dodging, good at their catches are their biggest asset, and throwing is one of their biggest things. So if you're playing against them, you want to target those kind of players. They are, however, the most expensive players on their team. So it's one of those. But they're a great team for scoring, but in a brawl, not so much. So, I mean, I tend to go for brawly teams. I've got the Chaos team. I play the Nurgle team every now and again, who can be a bit brawly. The Skaven team, if you take the Rat Ogre, can suddenly become brawly. But the elves don't have really block skill. So when you hit them with their low armor value, this is kind of where their weaknesses are. Low armor value, and they tend to go over. So their linemen tend to get injured. So if you're going to play elves, you're playing for touchdowns. This apparently is the most difficult kit out of all the Blood Bowl kits to assemble, and I believe it's because hair becomes separate to heads and things. But we'll take a look on the Sprue and look at that. But of course you get your transfer sheet inside as well to put your numbers and emblems on. And of course on the back there's the colour scheme. They've gone for a purple and yellow one. I believe the idea with this set originally was you could possibly use them for Dark Elves until the Dark Elves had come out. I obviously have the Dark Elves. Do go check out that video, pop up in the corner. But these are what they're going with calling the Pro Elves. These guys again don't come with the Spike magazine. They're pre the Doom Lords, so they're pre-Spike, sort of early 2016 team. But like I say, I wanted to get hold of some of the older teams for you guys to show you them. So let's take a look inside the Elfheim Eagles. So let's take a look at the Elfheim Eagles, the Elven Union Blood Bowl team. So the idea of the Elven Union is that it's just an elf team. I mean, we have seen the Dark Elf team, and I'm hoping there's going to be a Wood Elf team eventually, but I don't know. So come on, Games Workshop, do me another announcement for a team soon. It would be lovely. But the first one they brought out was the Elven Union team. And for all you elf players out there, this is what's known as Pro Elves, or however you want to call it, but Games Workshop call it the Elven Union team. So this is the artwork, and obviously they've gone with a purple and yellow colour scheme. The way the guy's holding the ball in the artwork is actually how their turn and reroll tokens are, which we'll take a look on the back in a minute. Of course, there's 12 miniatures in the set. It's official Blood Bowl from Games Workshop. So on the back, you've got 2 blitzers, 2 catchers, 2 throwers, and 6 linemen in this set. Obviously, the linemen come in 3 different variations, and the other 3 come in just that variation. So like I said, the reroll counter is like that, which I think is really cool. And then you've got your double-sided elf token and 8 different balls in this set, as well as a transfer sheet. So let's take a look inside at the Sprues. These are known as the most notoriously difficult set to put together. I've heard a lot of different people tell me they're really difficult, they're really difficult. Let's find out why. So obviously, first thing, 12 bases. They come in almost every set. We'll pop them to one side. Next thing to take a look at is the instructions. Now let's see how difficult they are. Oh my God. So one lineman alone comes in, the faces are different. Oh, now I see why everyone was struggling with them. You can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different faces, which you can see along the top there for your Elven Union. So all the faces come separately and have to be glued to the heads. So that must be a nightmare, as well as your average, gluing legs on. We'll have a proper look on the Sprue in just a moment, but that's your instructions. And of course on the back, as with most of these, comes a starting team. Now if you're a brand new player to the game, I reckon this is a great way of starting out, and it gives you all of your information, what each person costs, what their movement, strength, agility, and armor values are, and of course, the number of team rerolls you'll be required to need. So it's a great way if you're playing an exhibition match. I would, however, look a little bit more into it because you will need fan factor if you're in a league, and you will need other things like apothecaries and so forth. I might do a kind of video on what the difference between playing at a tournament and playing in a league actually is. If you want that, do pop me a link down below, or pop me a little comment down below to let me know if you'd be interested in knowing what the difference is between that, and I'll try and do a video for you. But that's the Elven Union instructions. You've got, of course, the transfer sheet, which comes with loads of stuff, including the names, which some of the other teams don't come with, and of course all the numbers and different icons in both white and black. So let's take a look at the sprues. Now you get two of the same sprue, and straight away you can see where the heads are. They're all down here. So let's pop one sprue to the side and take a proper look. So straight away you can see the coin and the turn and reroll and all your balls up in this part of the sprue. You've got also bodies, main torsos by the look of it, spiked armor pieces which you need to add on. But this is the bit I really wanted to show you. The reason this is notoriously hard is you've got this many different faces that you can put on the heads. And none of the heads with the hair come with faces on them, so you can really adapt what they all look like. Personally, is this Games Workshop going overboard on customization? I think so. I think, you know, it's quite difficult to, and imagine quite fiddly. This reminds me very much of the Dark Elves points that you had for the blitzers to put on. Really fiddly to do. I was using tweezers, and I think I'd probably use tweezers to put these together. Let's take a full look at the sprue. So you've got the main body parts and chest down here, a couple of different heads knocking about, a couple of different shoulder pads and shoulder pad types, as well as legs with and a lot of tassels on them, and there's bodies. The main thing I like about this set, and probably the easiest thing to take out, are those two. I really like the icon, but personally I'm glad I'm not putting these together. These belong to a friend of mine, and I wish him all the luck in the world for putting these together. But that's the sprue, and of course you get two identical sprues, as you get with all of the Blood Bowl teams from Games Workshop, to make up your 12 models. And like I say, if it was me, I'd take the time, I would get tweezers, I would get, you know, some fine glue to be able to even stand a chance of popping these together. But you get your two sprues, your transfer sheet, your instructions, and your bases. Hope you enjoyed this unboxing. I'll see you next time.